Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. I'm gonna drop another video real quick. So I'll be going back to Sutra for 2025. Now, what does that mean? Any monks and nuns obviously know what I'm talking about. But for people that are studying enlightenment, when you're going through to your enlightenment, you're gonna go, and I'm gonna explain it as best as I can as a Westerner because it'll get really confusing if you get into the scriptures. You're gonna go Sutra, Tantra, and then wherever your final phase is. Mine was Dzogchen. But then, of course, there's also like some light. No, I'd mix the shamanism in with tantra. So I'd say yeah, all sutra. So your sutra phase is when you're studying. You're getting the right view. You're studying the rituals, making notes, adapting it so that you understand what you're doing and not just writing down what you're reading. So for me, I've gone through a Sutra, Tantra, Dzogchen phase already, and now I'm going backwards to try to finish what I started. So in each book that I'm getting into, we'll call them sutras. They're of different religions, but it is my sutra phase. So for me, most of my sutra phase is coming out of the Sacred Literature Trust series, which is about a series of 15 or so books. I'm going to wrap that up this year in 2025. So if you're looking into any of those, they cover every religion. They found really good works for each group. For I'll present some of them as I have already in a later video. I'll get a hold when I have them all compiled. I'll show you what they all are. But it really covers everything. Look up Sacred Literature Trust, Sacred Literature Trust series. They have them on Amazon and other used books. Like they're used books, versions of them everywhere. Sometimes you'll find really expensive, like hundreds of dollars for a single version, but then you can find the same version for like 15 to 30 bucks used and under a different binding and stuff like that. Beyond that, I did finally find a version of the Quran that I'm going to read. I didn't know. Okay, so really quick, Islam 101, you have the Shias, are the more last group, the Sunnis are the more strict groups. A lot of the extremist groups come out of the Sunni group. I just found out that in the 70s, a group break off the Sunnis and were like, no, peace is the hardcore way of Islam, and they broke away and they wrote they're called Ahmadiyya. Please forgive me, I'm saying it wrong. Ahmadiyya Muslims, and they have not that it's different. It may be a slight difference here or there, but it's their translation of the Quran and their commentary. It's like 2,000 pages. I think it should take me the whole year, but I have a feeling I'm going to cook right through it. Yeah, so I'll be doing that while I'm doing the rest of. I'm down to like I think six to eight books in the Sacred Literature Trust series. I already knocked the rest of them out already. Um, and then I have the Jamgon Kung Trell's Nyingma, the Ati Yoga portion, which is what applies to me as a Dzogchen practitioner. I would suggest anything. Jamgon Kung Trell is the conduit. So let me explain this really quick, and I'll do a whole video about this later. But you have Patra Rinpoche who had the experiences that can articulate that, but there's always a conduit running parallel to the experiencers. The Bumpos actually identify, but they still vote it these days. It's not, they don't say I had the experience, I'm the experiencer. They do votes now. But Jamgon Control is the Rime non-sectarian conduit of our era, and they're still just translating his words. The book I bought came out in October, 2024, I think like the 15th or something. So, but that will help me get the rest of the lineage of information where I found directly from a conduit, and that'll end that. I am going to read the King James version of the Judeo-Christian Holy Bible because I have so much faith in the all that is that can't be understood that I know that you got to understand how God or Goddess, whatever you understand or believe in, Tao, whatever you call it, would use someone like King James to do work. Like, so yeah, it may look like an ignorant hodgepodge of books to you, but when you have somebody that follows their every desire, even to an illogical point, like, sir, this doesn't make any sense. I did it. It doesn't have to make sense. God, Goddess kind of needs those kind of beings around because they're easier to push around. Because all you got to do is make them think it was their idea, and anything that can buffer their ego. Hey, if you do this, it'll buffer your ego, and they're like, yeah. So I do give credence to the Judeo-Christian King James Bible, just because. I mean, if you say the guy was an ignorant idiot, I say good, because that means that it could flow more smoothly. But remember, I'm not just going into this like I'm not a 12-year-old reading the Bible who's never been to school. Like I'm finishing 3 years of hardcore Sutra Tantra Dzogchen on top of a lifetime of study and indoctrination, and then um, yeah, I'm gonna go back with it with fresh eyes. I may even do the Judeo-Christian Holy Bible in the in 2026 just for recreation. But yeah, so this is my sutra phase. I'm gonna go hardcore. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of pages to read in 2025. So if you ever wanted to do any religious studies, I would say, and you wanted someone to help you see everything or understand things, this would be a good time. So this will probably be the only video I do with this. So if you see this, it's in your karma, and you know, just check it out. So yeah, and if you're looking for a specific book of a religion, you can drop me a comment, and I'll tell you what you should be looking at. Things like the Gathas of Zarathustra, you know, the Noble Eightfold Path. I'm just trying to think because everybody has like a core book. Like if I was gonna if you were gonna ask me how to study Judaism, I would say get the Yemenite Midrash on the Torah and the Kabbalah through Sacred Literature Trust, and then the rest is, you know, mostly Old Testament. But again, in my opinion, you shouldn't be starting there. You should be starting way before that chronologically in your studies, so you can really wrap your mind around what the humans were experiencing going through the ages. Because it does. It's not so much as we were right, they were wrong. It's like you see the religions like consuming each other, and it's not necessarily the religions. It's just the idea doesn't change, just people's acceptance of it and society's acceptance of it changes. So you see this like consuming, and that's why, you know, I'm able to compare things in sutras to other religions because it is there. You just gotta look for it. All right. So there you have it. Yeah. So going back to sutra, and then when I say going back to sutra for 2025, that also means that after this year I'm done my sutra. I'm gonna be doing like all just reading for fun, which it looks like, you know, qigong or energy work books and kung fu, because that's all I'm really gonna do while I'm working on all this stuff. Um, but I'll be doing all the meditation. So I'm also gonna finish studying all the meditations I have to study this year, so that the next year I can just do meditations. And then for me, the end result would be, you know, maybe after a year of tantra, and working with Treko and Togal, my job as a Dzogchen practitioner is to just do Treko and Togal forever. But I need to spend this year getting Sutra out of the way like completely, so I'm only reading for fun. And I may cover the Bible too, Judeo-Christian Bible too. And then the next year, just do all the rituals as hard as I can and make sure they're done to completion. And that way I can just spend the rest of my life working on my Treko and Togal. If I accomplish complete enlightenment, i.e. being a Vajra Master before I die, cool. Otherwise, I'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so there you have it. And that's the proper way to go through these things. If you need any direction to go to a monastery or talk to people in monasteries, I can direct you a little bit. Yeah, so there you have it. I just wanted to point this out. I like making these videos for like these monumental points. This is a pretty resolute thing that I'm gonna do here. So I'm also studying other things. I do study some of the qigong books, and I like to study chess as a hobbyist, but try not to sneeze here. Okay, but yeah. So there we have it. Going back to Sutra for 2025. I've already started. I plan to hit that hit the ground running. Again, it's 2,000 pages, but I really think it's going to that group. I think is really going to put it down in a way that I can really fathom and finally pull it in, because it's been really hard to find a group in Islam that can say like, you know, this is definitive. This group does that. That group does that. And in case you didn't know, there is a strict peaceful group, the Ahmadiyya Muslims. Again, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. And they claim to be the absolute disciples of the Prophet. And I'm excited, man. I'm diving right in. I want to see what they're talking about. So anyway, so in any other book you're looking into, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what book you're reading. Just tell me what you're seeing in front of you, and I will tell you what I am experiencing with the knowledge that I've culminated and what you're saying. I may ask for a little bit of backstory depending on, so I understand why that's in front of you. But I'm not going to be able to see it with your eyes. I mean, even if you were training with me for a year, I can't see something with your karmic traces, which really depicts how you experiencing things. It's not like, oh, I stubbed my toe, so I have bad karma. It's like, I don't know, stubbing your toe is a bad thing because you have bad karma. It's more like that, you know. So I can't tell you what you're seeing. I can't like adjust your karma to see what you want or to make it what you want. I can only tell you what I'm seeing with my karmic traces. All right. So there you have it. I hope some of you join me. Otherwise, it's gonna be a fun ride. All right. So thanks for stopping by. Peace and blessings.